Hey guys, okay, I just wanted to come to you here real quick. Totally raw, real, unscripted, no teleprompter. And this is live, but I needed to record this in a different format because I wanted to post it a couple of different locations. So this is pretty much live without going live. But I just got back from a nice, really long awaited vacation, my first one in 2 years, and I had the unfortunate experience that my phone didn't work, so I couldn't receive text messages or phone calls, and it only connected when it was very spotty when I was connected to the internet. So during that time, I had a lot of time to kind of reflect and think. And while I was there, I noticed a few things and kind of have a couple of questions pop up. So I wanted to ask you this question because maybe I was like maybe people just don't care anymore about how they look and how they feel. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's really true. I don't think it's the fact that people don't care anymore. I think it might be something else. So let me just ask you two questions really quick, just to start this whole thing off. First, are you 100, and be honest with yourself, totally 100% content and happy with where your body and your health is right now? And if you can answer yes to that, great. But let me follow that up with a second question. And just listen to the words I'm saying. If you could pick between staying right where you are right now and a lean, ripped, strong, shredded physique that is incredibly healthy and has no health issues, if you could pick between where you are right now and that lean, strong, ripped, shredded physique, 100% healthy, which would you pick? Now, if you say where you're at, then that means you probably have a lean, ripped, shredded physique already, and this video is just not for you. If you said that and you're not lean, ripped, and shredded, have a flat stomach, or for the ladies, and six-pack abs for the men, then I'd say you're probably not being 100% on yourself with yourself, and actually probably lying to yourself. Now, depending on where your mindset is when you watch this video, you could go probably one or the other direction, right? It'd be like 100% yes, dude, I'm totally content and I'm on my way. I'm going there. I know where I'm going. Great, perfect. Or you know what, you're just not. And I think, I made an observation while I was, on this vacation and had some time to kind of reflect. And there was not a whole lot of people who were healthy and fit by any stretch of the imagination. Actually, majority of all the men had these huge barrel waists. I mean, it looked like they were holding a cake in their belly, and they were walking around the pool like it was just, totally happy, content, but extremely, really high risk of getting heart attack and having heart disease almost immediately. If they didn't have it while they were there, I was kind of surprised. Now, I want to share with you a little story real quick. So while I was there, I met this young gentleman. I would say he's probably in his mid-20s. And he did an incredible transformation. He showed us pictures of his before, which was well over 300 pounds, and his after shot. I don't know about how long. He didn't really say how long it took, but I'm guessing it took at least a year, maybe even a year and a half to get down and losing that over 100 pounds. Let's just say it took him about a year. And he showed me the after picture. But the after picture that I saw compared to the person I was looking at was not the same person. In fact, the after picture that I saw looked like a very lean, pretty decently muscular young man. And the person I was looking at was overweight, slouchy, not really as confident, I don't think, as he was in that picture that I saw. And he was, at least he said 20 pounds. He was at least 40 pounds heavier than he was in that picture. And all the muscle definition was gone. I didn't see forms in his chest. I didn't see round shoulders anymore. Definitely didn't have a flat stomach. And I asked him, I say, so between this picture and where you're at now, what happened? He just said, I got busy. Okay. And he did tell me about all the things that was going on in his life. And yeah, he was extremely busy. But I started to think again, Why? And this happens all the time. Why would somebody who's lost over 100 pounds, which is no small feat, takes a ton of consistency and discipline to get there, go back and start falling back to where they were before? And that goes along lines that I know this happens over and over again, and it happens to tons of people, and it's super sad. And I know the answer. I know why that happened. And it's not because he got busy. Yes, we get busy, but it's the identity of that person. It just didn't resonate. The identity didn't change. Even though his body changed, his identity and his mindset didn't change along with where his body was. And regardless of how busy and how much more things were going on in his life, he's starting to fall back to where, and he said he hasn't worked out in over 4 or 5 months. I can tell. But I started thinking, how many other people are having this issue or have done that, have had an extreme, incredible transformation, but for some reason they're slightly, very, very small drift of where they were to get there, and are now slowly, very, very slowly and subtly going back to how they were before. And not, losing 100 pounds is extremely challenging. I couldn't even imagine. I've not had to lose 100 pounds, but I've lost 20 many different times in my life in a very quick time frame. But I also know it's part of my identity. I know how to do it. I know exactly what I need to do to get from here to here in a very specific amount of time. So going back to that first 2 questions that I asked you, are you 100% content and happy with where your body and your health is right now? Or if you could pick and choose that lean, shredded, ripped, flat, tight stomach, and incredibly healthy and feeling amazing. And that's the other thing, is I guarantee you, and I can tell that these people walking around who are not in shape in any stretch weren't feeling good either, because they had pain just moving around. I could tell because of how they were moving around that they are not healthy. And the way that you look and kind of health wise has a lot to do with how you feel. So wouldn't you want to feel a ton of energy and happy and healthy? The feeling that you get and the energy that produces is like night and day, completely different. So if you're at that point right now, what's the reason this young kid in his 20s went back to where he was? Well, I'll tell you what the reason was. The reason is he did it on his own, but he did have some motivation. He said what really motivated him to kind of lose weight and get there was this specific atmosphere. See, where I was, there was on the 7th floor, the highest floor in this building, there was a gym overlooking the ocean, all windows, beautiful equipment, brand new. I mean, just amazing. And it's called the Sky Gym. It's freaking awesome. I even said, hey, I want to be able to go in there and access. I couldn't access it. I was able to get a day or two in there, but I still didn't even have time to go in there, even though I was able to get a pass to go and work out in this gym, just because I was busy. I had other things that was going on. But that's what motivated him to get in shape, was this incredible atmosphere. And that's great. And I don't know, for whatever reason, he has access to this atmosphere because he works in this location, but he's no longer using it. I don't know what it was, but I do know this, that he did do it on his own. And the reason why most people fall back to where they started and don't continue this transformation is 2 things. First of all, is that he didn't change his identity. His identity didn't change along with his body. So he's starting to drift back to where his identity, his thermostat, so to speak, is. I can go way more into that. I'm not going to bore you with that whole speech right now. I want to try to keep this short. But then also accountability. He did it on his own. He didn't have anyone there coaching him and holding him accountable to his goals. And he just might need a couple of small little tweaks to help him stay on that trajectory and keep that weight off, to stay and remain healthy. But he didn't have that coach. He didn't have that accountability. He didn't have that person holding his feet to the fire saying, hey, this is important. Okay, and I'm telling you, if he keeps going down the road that he's going down, he might end up getting diabetes by the time he's 30. Just because I could tell, just because of how his body is and where he's at. I don't know anything about his health and his background, but he was extremely overweight, over 300 pounds in a very young age. He lost 100. Now he's probably about 240 or 250 right now. And he hasn't worked out in 4 months. He hasn't done anything for 4 months. And I even asked him about his nutrition and his diet, and he said that there were a couple of things that he never did do. That was another reason why I knew that he wasn't able to maintain that success, is because there's a couple of key things that you need to do when you lose the weight and when you build muscle. The cool thing is when you're building muscle, you get to actually eat more. But you have to eat more of the right foods in the right times and the right quantities. It is very specific, and it is based on science. That's why the bodybuilders and the people who do physique transformation, or the physique competitions and bikini competitions, they know exactly what they need to do and when they need to eat and how much water they need to. It's science. If you did that, you would look like that too. I know most of us don't have the time, but again, that's what they do for their career. Okay. It is different, obviously. And I probably have other careers outside of that. But here's the difference: is they made it a priority and they stuck to it. Is it hard? Is it challenging? Absolutely. 100%. It very much is. It's not easy. And if it was, then everyone would be lean, fit, beautiful, sexy bodies walking around. That is not the majority of Americans at all. In fact, over 60% of us are overweight. And obesity is getting worse every single year. I think it was over 34 or 35% of Americans are considered obese. That is a huge majority of us. We have access to the pretty much the best type of nutrition that you can speak of in the world. And yet we're one of the most unhealthy countries in the world, which is really sad. But going back to my point, you're right where you are based on all of your experiences and all the obstacles and all the challenges that you have faced in your life has put you right where you are right now. If you're not happy and content with where you are right now, don't give up hope. You are not alone. In fact, there are millions of people in the same spot as you are. There is hope, and you're not alone, and you don't have to go about it alone. There are people who can help, but you got to find them. You got to seek them out. There is a lot of hope left, and you don't have to do it alone. I'm here to help you. It doesn't cost you anything to book a call with me. Book a free call, get in touch with me, ask me a couple of questions, and we'll see if there's somewhere I can help you bridge that gap between where you are right now and where you want to go in a faster, more efficient way. Then we could talk about that. If not, that's okay too. But you're not alone. There are millions of people in the same spot as you. And there is help. There are people out there and experts who can help you get where you need to be in a very short period of time. So if that's you, then I encourage you to reach out to me, ask me any questions, reach out to me on Facebook Messenger or whatever. We'll book a call. We'll get on a call and we'll have a quick conversation and see if maybe there's something that I can do to help you. Anyway, I hope you found this a little bit valuable. I'm a little bit more long-winded than I wanted to go. We're approaching almost 15 minutes here, but if you're not happy with where you are, look, there's 2 months left in the end of this year. And if you are not anywhere closer to your goal than when you set in January, then you're wasting a ton of time. And that's the only thing that we can't get back is our time. Don't waste any more time. Book that call and let's get you closer to your goal. I'm Nate Rose, and I'll see you guys soon.